You think you know everything about Kai and Tan Songyun? Think again. 4 years the internet has shipped them, loved their on-screen chemistry, but the real script? It started decades ago, long before the cameras rolled. We're not talking about a random coincidence. We're talking about a connection so deeply rooted in their childhoods, so unbelievably intertwined in one single unforgettable summer, it's mind-blowing. Our investigation began with a deep dive into historical architectural and industrial records, focusing on a major infrastructure project in a provincial city, a project that we discovered required the unique expertise of both of their fathers. Kai's father, a rising young engineer with a keen eye for structural integrity, was tasked with overseeing the northern phase of the massive Skyline Bridge construction. Simultaneously, Tan Songyun's father, a respected expert in materials science and logistics, was handling the crucial delivery and deployment of specialized components for the southern approach. Two men, focused on their respective halves of a single colossal endeavor. They were professional colleagues, introduced in a cavernous site office, sharing late-night instant noodles and the stress of a challenging deadline. They weren't close friends, but they were allies, their lives intersecting on the blueprints of a shared goal. The real revelation, the piece of evidence that sent chills down our spines, wasn't found in a dusty archive, but in a faded family photo album belonging to a distant relative of the Tan family. The picture is simple: a sun-drenched park bench, a large antique thermos flask sitting between two elderly women laughing. On the back, in elegant spidery script, are two names: Grandma Yu, Tan Songyun's maternal grandmother, and Auntie Ling, a nickname for Kai's paternal grandmother. The caption reads, "Our morning routine, Summer 98, Central Park, waiting for the boys to finish their school break activities." The photo confirms the unthinkable. While their fathers were on the industrial site, their grandmothers, completely independently, had formed a daily bond. They were sharing their morning tea, discussing their grandchildren who were, at that very moment, probably running in the same grassy field just out of frame. The two most formative female figures in the stars' lives were best friends for a summer, completely unaware of the fate awaiting their descendants. But wait, it gets even more intimate. The photo led us to the specific park and subsequently to a long-forgotten small community center nearby that ran a summer day camp for children of the project workers. We spoke with an elderly woman, the retired coordinator of that 1998 program. Her memory was sharp and she recalled two specific children: a quiet, fiercely protective boy known for his boundless energy, the young Kai, and a bright, slightly mischievous little girl who loved to tell elaborate stories, the young Tan Songyun. The coordinator shared a story about the camp's most prized possession, a single, battered, bright red tricycle. It was the source of constant rivalry. On one particular afternoon, a major storm was brewing. The children were being rushed inside, but a minor squabble had broken out over the tricycle. The little boy, Kai, had claimed it first, but the little girl, Tan Songyun, wanted one last ride before the rain hit. Instead of fighting, the boy did something unexpected. He let her sit on the seat and he pushed, running alongside the tricycle, shouting a made-up vroom-vroom sound effects as she steered gleefully around a pillar, just as the first drops of rain began to fall. They were together, sharing a single red tricycle, a moment of pure, innocent companionship, decades before they would share a scene, a dialogue, or a screen kiss for millions of adoring fans. The summer ended. The bridge project was completed. The families packed their bags, the fathers went to new assignments, the grandmothers said a tearful goodbye, promising to write. The connection was severed, forgotten by the passage of time and the distance of 100 miles. Until now. This is just the beginning of the story. The rabbit hole goes deeper. We will reveal the actual bridge's name, the surprising piece of shared memorabilia Kai still owns, and the shocking conversation that happened on the set of their first drama together that proves these childhood memories were almost revealed. The faded photograph of the two grandmothers laughing on a park bench was just the appetizer. It confirmed the families were in the same city. The anecdote of the shared red tricycle confirmed the children were in the same park. But the sheer depth of their unconscious connection, the tiny recurring daily moments that wove their worlds together, are what transformed this from a coincidence into a cosmic collision of fate. The Skyline Bridge project was a behemoth, requiring hundreds of workers to relocate for the duration. The families weren't just randomly distributed across the city, They were clustered into temporary worker housing, a row of newly constructed identical two-story complexes known locally as the Sunshine Quarters. Our painstaking deep dive into the 1998 residential logs revealed a breathtaking detail. The Shu family and the Tan family were assigned apartments in the same building, separated by a mere courtyard and a communal kitchen. They were essentially next-door neighbors. Picture this, it's a stifling hot summer night. Air conditioning is a luxury. The young parents, Shu Kai's mother and Tan Songyun's father perhaps, are both up late, stressed about the intense work schedule. They step outside their respective doors, seeking a breath of cooler air on the shared balcony landing. They nod awkwardly, strangers brought together by circumstance. Shu Kai's mother might offer a slice of watermelon. Tan Songyun's father might lend a tool he brought from home. They exchange polite, fleeting conversation, sharing worries about their kids and the bridge's progress. Two future in-laws unknowingly establishing a brief professional rapport, never realizing their children were sleeping just feet apart, their dreams potentially echoing off the same shared wall. This mundane, forgettable interaction cemented the professional bond that kept the families in that single location. The communal kitchen was the heart of the Sunshine Quarters. It was a chaotic, vibrant space where tired workers and their families prepared meals after long days. Tan Songyun's grandmother, the culinary master of her household, was renowned for a very specific traditional sweet and sour pork dish. Shu Kai's mother, on the other hand, often prepared a simple, delicate steamed fish, a specialty of her hometown. One evening, there was a minor comical skirmish over the single large wok. Tan Songyun's grandmother was rushing to finish her famous pork dish when Shu Kai's mother needed the burner to steam her fish before it spoiled. They negotiated with good-natured exasperation. The result? They ended up sharing ingredients and cooking techniques. Shu Kai's mother got a small, precious taste of that famous sweet and sour pork, and Tan Songyun's grandmother sampled the delicate steamed fish. Years later, a specific dish served at a celebratory wrap-up dinner for one of their dramas could trigger a nostalgic yet unrecognized flicker of recognition in one of the stars, a flavor profile unconsciously linked to that communal kitchen. The very aroma of their childhood homes had mingled, blended, and been exchanged. The children were the real conductors of fate. While the adults were busy with their adult responsibilities, little Shu Kai and little Tan Songyun were forming their own secret society. The red tricycle story was famous, but there was a deeper, more private ritual. We uncovered accounts of a massive ancient banyan tree at the edge of the camp property. It had a hollowed-out root system that became the kids' hideout. One humid afternoon, the two children, little Tan Songyun with her endless imagination and little Shu Kai with his protective nature, were alone in their banyan fort. They were trading treasures. She gave him a smooth, perfectly round river stone. He gave her a small, tarnished metal bird badge he'd found on the construction site. Little Tan Songyun, sitting cross-legged in the cool earth, made a serious proclamation. When we grow up, we have to find each other. We'll be famous storytellers. Little Shu Kai, ever the realist, responded, "How will we know it's us?" She pointed to the badge. "This is your sign. When you see it again, you'll know." He tucked the metal bird into his pocket, a silent promise made between two children who had no concept of destiny or stardom. This small, tarnished metal bird, a piece of construction debris from the very bridge project that brought their families together, is, we believe, the singular most powerful piece of shared memorabilia. The summer ended abruptly. The bridge was completed ahead of schedule. Within 48 hours, the Sunshine Quarters emptied. The families scattered back to their respective hometowns. The grandmothers exchanged letters for a time, but life intervened and the correspondence faded. The two children moved on, their shared memories filing away into the deep recesses of childhood. They wouldn't see each other again for nearly 2 decades until they were seated across from each other at a script reading, both famous, both poised to launch a new drama. They felt an instant, inexplicable familiarity, a sense of having known the other's soul before their eyes had even met. They dismissed it as professional chemistry. They were wrong. It was the echo of a forgotten summer, the faint memory of a shared red tricycle, and the deep, abiding loyalty promised under a banyan tree. If this story blew your mind, you know what to do. Like this video right now to help us uncover more forgotten celebrity secrets. Comment below and tell me, what do you think little Shu Kai said to little Tan Songyun when he handed her the river stone? And have you ever reconnected with a childhood friend and felt that immediate, overwhelming sense of familiarity? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share this with every drama fan you know, they won't believe it. And of course, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss part 2, where we reveal the name of the bridge, the shocking moment the metal bird badge almost caused a revelation on set, and the further convergence of their extended family histories.